So I put together this little video helping people to pick a balcony on the Regal Princess. This doesn't cover all the bases, but it's what things I was interested in. And that is the boat in the back. You can see it comes down, it's sort of tiers coming down, slowly going out, which means from a balcony above, you can look down below you into the other balconies, at least the one right directly below you. But the main concern is the horizon court. And now the horizon court is right there where the arrow points. And when you're getting your food and you come out and you sit on the horizon court and you eat and then you go over, you look out of the water, you're looking down, and obviously you're looking right down into somebody's balcony. And that wouldn't be a very favorable circumstance if you're somebody who wants to have privacy in their balcony. So I just took a side shot here. It might be a little better. As you can see, as the you come up the boat there, how the balconies kind of move in. So that means you're looking over the one below you. And then right there, you have the 17th deck at the top. The 16th is the horizon court, and that's the main concern because a lot of people spend time out on the horizon court, eating and just enjoying the uh, the boat. And so there's a lot of activity there. And if you're right below it in deck 15, then you're constantly going to be having people leaning over the balcony there and looking down into yours. Now this is from deck 17. So we're looking down, we see horizon court right below us, and then below that you can see the decks, but it's a little obscured, the balcony from the 17th floor. But when we come down to the horizon court deck, well then it's going to be right here. We are in the horizon court, and a lot of people would come out here to eat. It's a nice place to sit, but then you obviously would like to walk out and look out the back of the boat. And as you do, look out of the back of the boat, and if you decide to look down, well then you're immediately looking right down into the balcony below you. I did this in a day. There weren't many people around, but you can see those balconies. Now there might be a part in close by the sliding doors that's private, but quite a bit of that on, let's be 15 there, floor 15, quite a bit of that is quite visible from Horizon Court. So I'd stay away from that if you want privacy in your balcony. Now another area of concern on the higher decks is up towards the center of the boat. There's a walkway that comes out. It's a glass bottom walkway, glass bottom, glass around the sides. So as you're walking out, you can see there, you can look down through the bottom or out the sides into those first few balconies. And later on, I'll walk that and say a little bit more about it. But those few balconies there wouldn't give you any privacy. You can see right up against the sliding doors. So that would be an area of concern. Now, another group of decks, balconies that I might avoid would be on the Emerald deck, deck 8. There, the balconies are nice and all that, but the promenade deck right below deck 7, there's not too many people that walk out there, but nevertheless, if they are, you feel like if they turn their heads, they're going to look right up into your balcony. They don't tend to, but I know we found didn't feel as private in our when we were out on our balcony. My wife and I like to sit out in our balcony in the morning and have breakfast and that. And anyways, so that was an area of concern for myself. That whole, and there's along there's a lot of tenders and other things that cause obstructions, and also as you get towards the center of the boat, then the deck 7 comes out a little bit too, so it's more of a sitting, an area where people might tend to sit a little more. So that that's an area of concern. A lot of those are obstructed balconies, I believe, with the tenders, as you can see. And then this area There's, you can see the tenders there all the way down. But even the areas where there's not the tenders, there is that where the people walking along, especially the center area right there, it comes out a little further. And that's where people might congregate a little more. The balconies come out a little further too, but nevertheless, that's an area where there might be people that might turn and look up the side of the boat, and you might feel it's not as private. Anyways, from now on, we will avoid that. We did get that balcony, and from now on, we'll avoid that. Move up just one deck up to deck 9 would probably be fine. Now we'll take a look at the decks below Lido deck 16 and the Seawalk there. So below it you have deck 15, the Marina deck, deck 14, Riviera deck, and deck 12, the Aloha deck. And as you're walking out on that walkway, you can look right down, especially into deck 15, the Marina deck, and deck 14, Riviera deck. Deck 12, Aloha deck, perhaps not as much, but nevertheless, there's quite a bit of loss of privacy, especially in those first two decks. You see it here as walking out here. Now this is just when we got on the boat. There's not much going on, not too many people, so we're not invading anybody's privacy. There's nobody down there, but you can see up against the sliding doors there as you're looking down into the Marina deck 15, and pretty well the same Riviera deck 14. Aloha deck 12, perhaps not so bad, but nevertheless, you can see into the front part of the balcony. So I definitely avoid those first two, and perhaps even the third one down. Okay, so now as we move forward towards the front of the boat, if we come down again to the Emerald Deck 8, we have a few more tenders here as we're going forward, but then there is an area there where there's no tenders for a long ways. So you can have those Emerald Deck balconies there unobstructed, but you still have the walkway, as you can see there, on deck 7, promenade deck. Now, that's not used a lot. Some of it is actually even blocked off because it's just for service people. But nevertheless, there's parts of it where people can come out onto deck 7, promenade deck, and the same as in the back of the boat. There's still that thing where they could turn and look up into your balcony. You just don't feel as cozy in your balcony there as you would above it, and just going up one deck, deck 9. And here in the front here, we'll notice on the there's these other ones that come out on the Emerald Deck 8. And these ones here, they're bigger ones with the wall that comes out. But in the front of it, there's a, until I drop down to again, it's all metal. So when you're sitting on your balcony there, you can't just look straight out, and the people above you can look down into that front part. So if you walk out so you can look down because you don't have the glass, then the people above you can look down at you. But you can sit down back under those balconies because it's a deep balcony, and you can have privacy there, but you can't look out. You just see a metal wall. And then you walk out and look, and then there's people right above you staring down at you. And we'll just take a walk inside one of those balconies. You see what I mean? Okay, here's they tend to be nice rooms, but there you are. You got that metal there, and you can't see unless you walk and you look right out and look down. And but you can see, and then you look back, and the people can look right down into where you're at. But back here, you're sitting under, and so it's private. Anyway, so this is the front of the boat, and we're looking up at those balconies. I think it's 4 going back. Some of the balconies right up there on the front above it, deck 9, are kind of a little bit bigger because there's a bit of extra space there. So some of these very front balconies going up from deck 8, they tend to have that little extra space in the very first one there. So that might be something to look at. They're just a little bit bigger there, because a little bit of private area tucked in under there. And you see there, you see how big it is compared to the other ones. So a few there might be a little nicer, but the deck 8 ones, well, it's not for people who want to sit and look it over the water, because you can't. So here are the cabins that are affected by that metal wall on the balcony, and people can look down into, and you can't look out too well. You see in the light green there. And also the ones under the seawalk in the center of the boat, people can look down into. I put a red box sort of around those ones there, and that give you an idea. So I hope this will help you in some areas of the boat to pick a good balcony. Anyways, now that was deck 15. Here's deck 14, and underneath it the Riviera deck. And there's no deck 13, so we drop down then to deck 12, Aloha deck, and here I'll show you they're not as bad on Aloha deck. So I hope this helps you. And